Yelan is absolutely a busted unit at C6, and I will show you how to clear the Spiral Abyss with her. So the first thing we want to do is we want to overlap our animation cancel with the archers and of course the Elitials all grouping up very nicely. And here we also want to take care of the archers. So the small little guys with the shields aren't actually the problem. It is these archers that can hit you, so you have to animation cancel it. There is a way to play this so that you can actually hit all of the archers without them firing off a single shot, but it is kind of difficult to pull off very consistently. But what you see here in terms of the play or the pattern that I'm playing is way more consistent. So you take care of these guys, it's pretty easy. And now you have the enemies at the back coming through. They can only go so far, so we're just going to quickly round them up. And then we just want to see if we can group them up. They're frozen, the enemy at the back is going to jump, so we're just going to use our elemental burst to iframe. And now we'll use that Yelan C6, those breakthrough bobs, to hit the enemies in an AoE. And from here on, it's just all about playing carefully, hitting the enemy whenever we get a chance to do so. And yeah, this is not really that much difficult. This is just something very simple. And what you saw there was just a very sort of quick little iframing way to iframe the attacks and so on. And here I'm just making 100% sure that we have enough energy for the cube. And yeah, this cube has been an absolute nightmare. So the tricky thing about him is if you've tried to it's very easy to finish him in like 9 minutes 20 and so on, but you'll have no elemental burst for the final floor, and that is where the real trouble lies. So this cube will take a bit longer than what you'd normally expect to defeat, and that's just because I have to make sure that I can conserve my elemental burst for the final floor. So that's just sort of it. But you can see it is so easy to take him out. This is the very annoying part. And I've even found that sometimes when I do a charge attack and I hit these ice cubes, they don't often always break the ice shield, which can be a source of frustration. And of course, we just have to run and avoid all the attacks, so that wastes a lingering lifeline, unfortunately. But there we go. We're going to hit him. Now, ordinarily, this is very easy to hit or to sort of take him out, but because we did not crit on our other lifeline as well, we will not have enough damage to finish him off. So it's definitely possible, and I have done this in my practice run, to finish him off right here, but it is, yeah, it's just unlucky. And then he just resets, and now you have to avoid all these attacks again, and then we have to do the whole cryo thing again. It's an absolutely annoying enemy. I think the theme for this Spiral Abyss is to be annoying as possible. You've got slowing waters on the next floor coming up. You've got the Ruin Serpent that just ducks and dives. You've got those Ruin, I don't know what is, other Sentinel things on the second chamber or the second half of this floor. They're also pretty annoying because they go underground. It's very irritating when you know that the time that you've lost is not because you're not doing enough damage, but because the enemy just sort of cheeses it. So yeah. Right, floor 3. This is a very difficult floor to sort of do it in. The key is that you need to try and take out these first Fatuis, or these two Fatuis if possible. I have, in my practice run, I have been able to actually clear both of them out. And then I got hit by that Mirror Maiden. So the key thing is she can actually hit you with one of those small little orbs, and you won't see it coming. And this has like been a run in this so many times for me, as I thought, well, okay, I got the two Fatuis, and the moment I start attacking her, she just slides in a quick attack, and then yeah, you sort of take damage, and then you have to restart the run. But yeah, without the sort of no damage taken restriction, this is actually very easy to do. But as you can see, I'm just sort of trying to keep my distance, because if she hits me, you see that attack. It's these little small attacks here that can absolutely ruin a run. So yeah, and of course now we've got slowing water, so my cooldown is on 20 seconds. And this is one thing a lot of people don't appreciate, but characters like C1 Kazuha or Yelan Miko that can actually reset their elemental skills are so powerful, especially when they're inflicted with slowing water, because being able to reset your skills just means you can get your particles up earlier, or you can get more particles, and that means you've got your elemental burst up more often. But here it's just an absolute war of attrition, and we did not crit again, so very unlucky in this solo no damage run, with the lingering lifeline just not playing along, but we eventually managed to do it. Alright, so now to the second halves. This first floor is really, I think I did this absolutely like first try, very easy to do. You just sort of constantly interrupt the enemies, and you can just sort of take them out. Now the Kairagi, you could be a Giga Chad and try and damage them both at the same time. I just opted for killing them as fast as possible, focus on the one, and then once he's done, just then do the other one. It's just the simplest way to do it, and then you don't need to keep track of so many enemies. So here's the first one, he's just gone. Now the second one's just going to sort of charge up. There we go, and now we're just going to sort of take him out. The key thing now, of course, is to ensure that we've got enough elemental, or we've got enough energy for the next floor, because if we don't have, it's also going to be a very tricky floor. The key thing about these solo no damage runs is energy. Unfortunately, you cannot build your Yelan to do max damage because of the energy requirement, but luckily because of her lingering lifeline and so on, it's not too big a deal. And as you can see here, I'm just sort of being very patient, because I know I can very easily kill him right now, but I need the little energies, particles and so on, and unfortunately I did not quite get them, but as such is life. So now we get to the longer section, and that is this part here. The reason it's so long is because of some of the RNG involved with the enemies, but ideally you want to try and paralyze them, and then there's also the matter that these two love to like spam this ranged attack, and it can hit you, so there is a way to sort of dodge it, but it is kind of tricky and difficult to do so. So you can see I'm just trying to sort of get the enemies and take them out. At the moment they're not really giving me too much of a headache, so this is actually quite a lucky run. Normally they do that area of effect attack and then it's kind of difficult. What's quite interesting here is to just make sure you've got enough elemental particles or elemental you've got your elemental burst up, because you want to take one of these snakes out as quickly as possible, because the moment they start doing that other attack, it is just an absolute nightmare. And I think if I had to redo this run, I would have been a bit more aggressive in trying to take care of that snake and just weave in a couple of more attacks. So me definitely playing a bit cautiously. So here you can see I'm just sort of iframing the attack, so the moment it lands you can actually iframe it, and you've only got 2 dashes and then it sort of goes away. We're going to get more particles, so that's going to be good. Out of range, there we go. Now we've got Yelan up again. Just need to avoid these attacks as well. Multiple enemies, multiple attacks. Not that easy, and he's going to stomp twice with his feet, so we've got to avoid that as well. Be very careful, try and see if we can't damage the snake a bit. And then yeah, it's not too difficult. So the final floor here is where I'd ordinarily just pop my elemental burst and kill the enemies, but of course the final floor is going to be difficult. It's also very RNG dependent. Look at this, just a bit of a quick juking and so on. So I just want to make sure I've got my elemental burst, and once again we're not critting on lingering lifeline. So this is a Yelan with about 65% crit rate, so that's very unlucky with all runs, but hey, at the end of the day we did it within the time limit. It really doesn't matter. Come on, and again another unlucky crit, so we could have already finished this battle, but that's what it is. So we're now almost getting ready to go to the final stages, and here you can see I'm definitely not choosing to restore health, so there's no trickery or cheating. This is just me playing it out. You'll also see here what the other team is that I used, but at the end of the day Yelan is just such an incredible unit. I know a lot of people compare her to Xingqiu at C0, but beyond that she is an entirely different unit on her own. AoE, all of these sorts of attacks, absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'm just going to keep quiet now, enjoy the last sort of boss fight, and thank you so much for watching. Cheers.